Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. First and foremost, let us express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to meet again in this session. You are with me, Suhaimi bin Muhammad Sharif. I'm from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. Alhamdulillah, today I would like to talk about my spiritual journey. If you can see my background, so I'm actually, my hometown is in Broas, Perak, Darul Ridwan. This is the place where, my family started their life and also livelihood. Basically, my grandparents, my parents are from Kampung Paya Ara, Broas, Perak. And from this town, it's actually about 5 kilometers away. And this is our town, and that we frequenting ourselves to this town for our grocery and also for other errands, okay, that we have here. So basically, I received. I born in the hospital, General Hospital of Ipoh, Perak, Darul Ridwan in 1975. And actually, my parents are in Kampung Paya Ara, Broas. My grandparents are there, both my maternal and also my paternal grandparents. Okay, my father, Muhammad Sharif bin Naham, a son to Sadia Buale, and also Ijo in Kampung Paya Ara. And then my mother, Robia binti Haji Zakaria. Okay, my grandparents, Haji Zakaria, known for his contribution to the community as a spiritual leader in conducting Quranic and also Islamic education classes, and also he provided the Islamic education for Du'ain, and also some martial art to those who are interested, and becoming reference to the community for religious matters, due to my grandparent, Haji Zakaria, used to study in Islamic school back in Kati, Perak, Darul Ridwan. Actually, my grandparent of my mother from Kati, Perak, Darul Ridwan. So all the way they migrated to Broas and settled at Kampung Paya Ara, Broas, Perak. So now if you came through the coastal highway, you will find that Kampung Paya is now part, okay, of the highway, partially part of the highway. So those are my parents, both of them married in Kampung Paya Ara, Broas, Perak. And then, of course, the marriage arranged by both my grandparents. Actually, my paternal grandparents were amazed with my maternal grandparents' family due to the religious background. And actually, my mother also was helping my grandparents, Zakaria, to teach Quranic classes, and also helping her parents. Basically, my mother is the youngest in the family, and the rest already settled with their own family. So she helped her parents at home. And my father actually also in Paya Ara, but he worked in other places as a contractor in the plantation and so forth. There are so many odd jobs that he did. And the grandparents arranged their marriage because of the religious factor, and then married, and then after that my parents also settled in Paya Ara, Broas. Of course, they work as rubber tappers and also did some odd jobs in Kampung until I was about I think 4, when I already have my brother, and my brother already almost 1.5 years, and then And then my parents decided to migrate to Johor. We of course still in the plantation sector. Um, Many places that the place that I remember very well, CP4, Simpang Renggam, worked there in the Samdadi plantation. Of course, in the oil palm plantation, work as harvester or general worker in the plantation. And I almost, my father registered me with SK Simpang Rendam. And after that, he got another offer. Before I started my standard one, he got an offer to work in another Gatri plantation in Ladang Sawabetul, Podexen, Negeri Sembilan, and where I my family migrated there, both of us, my parents and also both of us, two of us, boys. And then my father changed the school to SRJK C Ladang Sawabetul. There are two schools actually in Ladang Sawabetul, Tamil school and also the Chinese school. But my father preferred the Chinese school, so he registered me with SRJKC Ladang Sawabetul. And also my brother also registered with SRJKC Ladang Sawabetul. So I studied there from standard 1 up until standard 5, and I set for my penilaian darjah 5 with SRJKC. However, the year that I set for my penilaian darjah 5 in 1986, my father got serious illness and he couldn't work. So my mother decided to return back to her hometown, which is Kampung Payaran, Beras Perak. So I also have to change school now. Still Chinese school, SRJKC Peicing, Beras Perak. So I have to travel about 5 kilometers with bicycle from Payara to Beras, because Chinese SRJKC Peicing is in Beras itself. Alhamdulillah. So 1987, throughout the year, travel with bicycle, heavy bicycle one, from Payara to Beras, and go and forth every day. And then of course my brother discontinued with the Chinese school. My mother registered him at the SK Beras, Sekolah Kebangsaan Beras. Of course, both of us have to travel by bicycle due to the affordability that we have. We have a motorcycle, but my mother used motorcycle for odd job. Of course, as rubber capper, she used the motorcycle to ferry the rubber products to be sold for earning. Alhamdulillah. So I started about the Islamic education. My interest, I have a very strong interest about Islamic education. In SRJKC Ladang Sawabetul, my parents requested the school to provide Islamic session for me and also my brother. And as a result of that, and he mentioned that my father mentioned in the PTA, Parent Teachers Association meeting, that please provide a session for the Muslim student in the school. Alhamdulillah, my ustaz, I still remember my Ustaz Hood provided us with a Quranic lesson and also some fardu ain. I was very eager to study about Islam because I want exposed to Islam education. I learned about, of course, at home, my mother used to be Quranic teacher, still teaching Quranic lesson, but about other lessons, Islam education, fardu ain, etc. So I learned about Aqidah, I learned about Ibadah, and also about Akhlaq from Ustaz. Of course, not very continuous like the what I call the normal Malay school. So we had only once a week a session, about 1 hour, and Ustaz would actually paid by the PTA for that session. And sometimes when clash with music class, Normally we won't be allowed to attend the education Islamic education session, and we protest to other lessons. But I developed those sort of interests, so I start to read more about Islamic way of life and so on. And my interest developed stronger when we migrated to Beruas Perak again in 1986 and continue my primary education in 1987. And because the villages, they had regular lesson. We have Ustaz Yusuf came to our Kampung Pirate to teach about also Fardu Ain or anything about Salat, Zakat, and also about wudu, classical water and whatnot. And I was the only boy in the kampung that joined the session. And I asked a lot of things about Islam education. And of course, we don't have many sessions, only once. And my thirsty about STEM education became stronger. However, when I entered into the secondary school, but I didn't go to Form 1 because I came from Chinese school. I was put at the Peralihan or remove class. So from there, because remove class was in the morning session, and the youngest group in the morning session was the remove class student. And the rest, all the senior students, the Form 3 and Form 5, all in the morning session. In 1988, I joined the Muslim Student Club session, and I became active. I wanted to know more about Islam education. I active, and then because of my strong interest in Islam education, I still remember the president at that time, I think Miss Akmal, and also my school, my Ustazah and Ustaz Mutalib, I remember, and then Ustazah Safia nominated me to attend a training session, okay, Tamrin, organized by KPIP, Persatuan Pelajar Islam Perak, and also PKPIM at Sekolah Izzuddin Shah. And of course, the president, Miss Akmal, and myself went there. And then I started to see all the senior from Izzuddin School and Madrasah Indonesia. They were talking about Islamic movement. They're talking about Islamic leadership. They're talking beyond my comprehension, beyond just what Ustaz said in the Kampung Pirate about water, about salat, about the pillars of salat, etc. And then and I opened up for me when they talk about Islamic movement. They talk about Imam Hassan al-Banna. They talk about Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Talk about the movement, the Muslim movement, Muslim student movement, etc. And I still remember the person that gave talk, his name Mustafa Kamil Ayub. The way he talked very fluent in mixed with the Quranic verses and the hadiths, and amazed me. This is something that I wanted to study in detail. Uh, and then from there, and then of course after attending the Mutamar for I think about 5 days, that we need to return back and emulated that into our Muslim student association. And of course, being the youngest, I had the opportunity only, just 1 year in 1988. And after that, discontinued. And the rest all already graduated because they were senior. So then I back to my Form 1. So Form 1 is the afternoon session. And again, I also involved in the Muslim Student Association Form 2, Form 1, Form 2 afternoon session. And then again, come back again in the morning session, Form 3. I started also continue to move. And during my afternoon session, I met one teacher, a few teachers that also encouraged me to study Islam and also to practice Islamic way of life. I remember my teacher, Cikgu Khairuddin, introduced me to the practical way of Islamic life. He said Islam is not just a ritual that you pray 5 times a day, zakat, salat, and so forth. But Islam is about way of life, ad-din. So I started to know. And then he brought me to various circle of studies. and we had a meeting, with among the students who have vested interest of Islamic education in a practical way. I still remember my friend Nasir, Amirul Mukminin, Kamal, and so forth. No, we grouped together and we had a session every week to talk about this and we practice. And then also, Cikgu Harudin brought us to meet another student from other school, and we had picnic, in Teluk Bati, and then picnic in, I remember in what I call it, in Manong, we have picnic there, and then we start to meet other teachers and students also who are giving the same training about Islamic way of life. Until then we had regular, and then my understanding about practical way of Islam became stronger and deeper. And of course, I still active in this Muslim Student Association. And then in my Form 5, and after then my teachers asked me, what will be your choice to study after your SPM? So many of my friends, they wanted to pursue their study at various vocational study, because I'm from the commerce background, right from Form 1 until Form 5, all the way commerce. So say the rest, they want to go to pursue to USM, USM Malaya, USM Malaysia, UPM, and the rest UITM and so forth. And my teacher, Cikgu Harudin, suggested me, why don't you go to International Islamic University Malaysia? There you can get deeper and more about Islamic education in detail while pursuing your commerce specialization. I did that, registered, I went into the Matriculation Center, Lembah Pantai, 1994, registered at first year. To my surprise, all my roommates are all from elite school. Basically, my roommate, I have Hanif, Isabra, Faizuddin Alimon, and also Ibrahim, Farid. All of them from school that I never heard throughout my life when I was a secondary school student. College Islam Kelang, Kisas, they call Kisas, and then the Smart Labu, Smart Kajang, and then the Hamidiah Kajang. Wow, all these are big school. But I also met some student from MCK, of course, in my Perak MCK Council. I met student from Clifford. Of course, they also pursue. Of course, they are not from the Islamic stream. Of course, in the commerce, etc. But I can see, those people from Islamic school, they are very like, in their blood. When they talk, they always have the hadith and the Quran, the hadith verses to cite, whatever they are doing. So then I also, of course, the IIM syllabus require us to go for Usra and whatnot. And I went all those, and I developed more interest. And of course, I'm not the person very good in all this, Arabic, Islamic education. I failed my Arabic placement test. I failed my Tilawah placement test. And English also, big broas boy, English not very good. So I failed, but I have to start like from scratch, all over again. From level 1, I study English, 101 English, I study Arabic 101, I study this Tilawah, while people, they don't have to bring with them, Quranic, Quran Musaf. I brought with me along, in my bag, where I have a Quran, because we have to study Quran. We remember Ustad Arshad to study the Tajweed, from the beginning. But because of the interest, I challenged myself. I learned about this, and alhamdulillah, I continue my main campus, first year, second year, third year, and then fourth year. I remember my teacher, my lecturer, Professor Muhammad Said, asked me, Sohaimi, what actually you want to do after your study? I said, as usual, I want to join the workforce in the corporate sector. He said, no, you should join the academic, because I can see that you have a strong interest in Islamic education, and we need a young lecturer who can pursue the Islamic education for the study of business administration. All right. I informed you that I'm not the best, because I have better than me, those first class, I'm just second class upper student. Don't worry. He said, I'll support you. Alhamdulillah, I got the offer to be assistant lecturer. And then with that particular post, I have to pursue my MBA at UKM. And then again, I continue to do research in Islamic management at my MBA level. And then after that, returning for again to pursue lecturership to teach. And then for PhD, again, I wanted to do Islamic management, but due to the requirement that I need to pursue my PhD in overseas, so I just, go with the requirement. And then I attended Murdoch University, Murdoch Business School, and I did PhD in commerce. So my area is strategic management. Even though while pursuing my doctoral research, I still, did Islamic management research with my Sifu, Honorable Yusuf Ismail. And that's the journey of my Tawhidic paradigm that people read. Even my series of Islam and management is actually a sharing session. And today I'm sharing briefly spiritual journey of me from person who have no background at all in Islamic education. What more, I came from the Chinese education background, and then my secondary school, the Malay conventional school, that no emphasis of Islamic education, but the only formal Islamic education that I received when I started to enroll into International Islamic University, Matriculation Center, and then this to pursue study. And Alhamdulillah, I'm here serving the Ummah through teaching, researching, and also consultation to the Islamic management, and also even though my specialization that I officially declared as a strategic management, but I never separate myself from the Islamic education or Tawhidic paradigm. If that I can, so possible, okay, the spiritual journey, if you have the interest, even though you are just 0%, you have no background, inshallah, you can develop. So this is becoming the responsibility of everyone to know about the religion and make this religion becoming part of their life. Inshallah, with that, I will share again about my journey in the spiritual journey with you, inshallah. With that, you're with me, Suhaimi bin Masarif from the School of Economics and Management Sciences, International Islamic University Malaysia, Gombak campus. Pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, may all of us be blessed and be given forgiveness and enter into Jannah together, inshallah. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Till we meet again.